hand of your neighbor and you are running towards that same destination. Try to be a good person. Try to love people. But most of all, love yourself, and don't be too hard on yourself, because after all, you are in the wilderness. So if you get beaten by a lion or if you get slapped by a bee, don't blame yourself for it. It's called life. Enjoy it. Don't sit down there moping. Enjoy it. And I promise you, you will get to the finish line. There is this song in the morning. I love the song so much because it reminds me, and it will remind you, that you will have dark moments in the wilderness. The sun wouldn't always shine. And as a matter of fact, you would wonder when the sun would actually set. But I promise you, if you stay the night, my father used to tell me, Bishop Ben Aruma, he used to tell me that if you stay the night, yeah, you'll be fine. So I encourage you to stay the night, because it will be all over in the morning. You don't have to worry about what tomorrow may bring. Yeah, it will be all over in the morning. In the morning. In the morning. That's my encouragement to you, is that in the wilderness, you have to keep on running. There's only one way to get out of here, and that's by dying. And we don't want to die before our time, so we might as well learn how to live in this life and be happy. Because remember, you will get to the finish line. All you have to do is learn the rudiments of how to make it work, which is staying alive. And I promise you, if you can just stay alive, if you can just wake up in the morning and get out of bed, things will be better and you will be closer to the end of the race. You will have to jump off a cliff, just knowing that you will not crash. If you're not in control of your emotions will be in control of you.
Oh yeah, go back.
Service of the NTA.
On the Sports Parliament, our World Cup focus begins tonight. For the next 18 weeks, we shall be presenting a weekly package titled 2018 World Cup Special. It will focus largely on Nigeria and Nigeria Super Eagles. Every week, we shall be bringing you everything you need to know. What is happening where, all the news behind the scenes, and how the team is performing. Of course, we shall also be discussing other sports and other issues on the show, including a new competition, Guess Who? On the Sports Parliament tonight, we are taking the kickoff with the appearance in Parliament of Nigeria's Mr. Football, AFCON President and President of the Nigeria Football Federation, Mr. Amaju Pinnick. I am Segun Odegbami, Speaker of the Sports Parliament. Welcome to the show. Coming to you live from our studios, the largest studios in Africa of the largest television network, NTA. With me on the show tonight are, to my distant right, the man who should actually be at the Commonwealth Games, Nigeria's Olympic gold medalist, Enefiok Udo Obong.
Good evening, Mr. Speaker.
You are not at the Commonwealth Games. And sitting next to him is a returnee parliamentarian, Dr. Kweku Tando.
Good evening, Mr. Speaker. I'm coming back from Wasimi.
Well, as you all know, I just came back from Wasimi, yes. And I thank you all for supporting me for the burial of my mother. Okay. Well, on today's show, I'd like to first of all welcome our president to the show, and then to tell you that you are in for a fantastic package. Something new is going to start on the show today. After the break.
Hear the call of change, stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go so let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogerula. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
Okay, sir. You may now go in for your interview.
Thank you.
Ah, my shoe. And to think I just bought this very expensive foreign shoe 2 months ago.
So sorry about your shoes. This is why I advise my friends to always patronize made in Nigeria products. See this shoe? It's made in Nigeria and I've had it for 2 years and it's still as good as the day I bought it.
Made in Nigeria products are good quality, and stringent government regulations and certification now mean that goods made in Nigeria meet international standards. Make the patriotic choice today. Buy right. Buy made in Nigeria.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
If you are just joining us, this is the Sports Parliament coming to you live from our studios in Lagos. Well, you can also participate in the program through any one of our social media platforms that must be scrolling across your screens now. And from next week, our competition resumes. This time it's going to be Guess Who. We shall be giving you a sample of that. We shall be giving you a sample of so many things today, starting with that of this segment on the World Cup special. We shall be looking at the Super Eagles from now until when they eventually win the World Cup. The president is here. Let me whet your appetites with today's show. Before Mr. President says anything, congratulations for qualifying us again for the World Cup. During our time, we tried several times to go to the World Cup. In fact, twice we failed at the very last hurdle. In 1977 against Tunisia, in 1981 against Algeria. We had only one country to defeat, Tunisia in 77 and Algeria in 1981. Both times we failed. But in 1994, Nigeria qualified. But one thing that we have noticed is that this generation aside from the 1980 finals goals that they sometimes see either on YouTube or even on television, they did not see how Nigeria played, the Eagles, the Green Eagles in those days, how they played in those days. They just had legendary names, Emmanuel Okala, Chukwu, and so on and so forth. So tonight, we are going to show you, for 5 minutes, Nigeria playing against Egypt that has also qualified to go to this World Cup. Both countries are going to this World Cup. But they played against one another in one very epic match that demonstrates the best of Nigerian football at that time. Poor pitch, very large attendance at the stadium, great atmosphere, great players, legendary players. How did they play and all of that? So for the next 5 minutes, watch Nigeria against Egypt. You will see that I shined in that match. Not because I played well, but because I scored, you know, and I was such a prolific goal scorer in those days. I wasn't playing well, but I was scoring to the extent that, you know, a winger scoring goals was not so common. And I became the second highest goal scorer in our country's national football team history until Rashidi came along to dismantle all of that. So enjoy. This is for you at home. Nigeria versus Egypt, 1977.
Corner kick. Adoke Mesimaka is there. Not too brilliant, the corner kick. But Anas there for the Eagles. Referee's whistle is gone. Free kick to Egypt. Anas Ahmed. Ooh, good stop. And somebody's picked up for offside, of course. Aloysius midfield, that's really asking for trouble. That's where the Egyptians are reigning supreme. Wadioha is very, very weak shot. Very, very tame hit there with Adobami completely unmarked. Aloysius. A pass to nobody at all. Samajabadi. And what do you have? Gets onto it, or just about. So it's a throw in now to Egypt. Good move there by Aloysius. Iwelumo. Aloysius again. Iwelumo. Well, good pass. Wadioha. Adoke. Adoke. Good crossover. And it's in the net. It is in the net. It is in the net, and it's Segun Adegbami. Anas, Muda Lawal, Segun Adegbami. Segun still going, and nobody's there. Iwelumo. Again, it's Muda Lawal. Still Muda. Still Muda. Anas. Anas. Christian Chukwu. That's not brilliant. Last man is there. Godwin Odie. Masterly. About the coolest man on this pitch. Anas Ahmed, Aloysius Atuegbu. Wadioha. A fair one. Again, Ikrahmi Ahmed. Odi having a testy time. Sam Ojabodi. Christian Chuku. Good move. Chuku is still going. Left fullback Galab. Again, midfield build up by the Egyptians. Skipper Hazan. No, it's a free kick now to the Egyptians. That's left half back Gafar. Mudalawal. Can Wadioha do much with that? Shago is poised. Shago is really an artist these days. He's untouchable on that right flank. Shago is still going, and it's in the net. It is in the net. Goal number 3. Incredible.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Before I ask my president anything again, now we are going to the World Cup. In 1994, as we were going to the World Cup, we asked some Nigerians how they felt the Super Eagles at that time would play. And the enthusiasm was infectious, as you would see from the next few interviews that we conducted at that time. Look at the faces of all those that we interviewed. See how young or how old they were. Enjoy it.
The captain of the team, Stephen Kashi, who is from this state, promised the nation and the world as a whole that Nigeria will qualify.
The Super Eagles that will go to USA will parade perhaps the best attacking machine you will ever see in the World Cup.
When our boys had the opportunity of scoring a goal, see the way they go for it.
Indeed, the striking power of Nigeria's forward line is impressive by any standard. A lethal finishing, the direct result of enormous natural flair, and the fact that all of them are stars in Europe and have been for several seasons now.
Well, we are going to catch everybody unawares.
We have gifted in that team that will go out and entertain the world.
I'm surprised that can break through into the European scene or to the world scene.
We are not the tallest, we are not the strongest, but the spirit is stronger.
What Jamila did, we can do, and we can do better.
Because that time will come very soon, when Pele's prediction in 1987 will come to pass, that Nigeria will be champions of the world.
I want Nigeria to win, because it's my country.
This is our time. Ashikowani. This is our time.
Now has never been a more opportune time for the Green Eagles to realize their huge potential. If the form guide is right.
President Amaju Pinnick, is this our time?
Yeah, first I'd like to thank you for inviting me, Mr. Speaker. This is a very rare privilege to be sitting close to whom I fondly refer to as a legend extraordinary.
Thank you.
They have seen it all.
Thank you.
I am really excited to be part of this forum with a nephew, of course, a gold medalist, my brother and friend, and the medical doctor turned football administrator by excellence.
Thank you, sir.
So what I want to say first, clearly, if you have a child and your dream for your child is for your child to become the best, and being the best is you wish him to surpass all your records, all previous records. The Super Eagles indeed is a child of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and indeed is a child of Nigerian Football Federation, the Executive Committee. And the wish we have for them purely is to win the World Cup. And we have done everything humanly and materially possible in ensuring that the road to the World Cup, there's no stumbling block. There's no encumbrance. We came out immediately qualified. We came out with a program developed by the Strategic Studies Committee and also the Organizing Committee. It came out with a program, and once I saw the program, I was very excited about it. And immediately we made contacts. In fact, the match we were playing against England, we started the arrangement about a year and a half ago, because you don't just go to Wembley and say you want to play England overnight. You know? We had so many other countries. We had Germany, we had Italy, we had so many other countries that we'll look at it, and we're always interfacing with the technical committee. The technical committee and the technical department, and indeed the technical crew. Now, once the draw was made, we decided that, listen, we're going to play Croatia, we're going to play Iceland. With all these that we have, we need to play a country that plays a kind of football. We chose Serbia, we chose Poland, we chose DRC, because if by God's grace we will get to the tournament, we'll get to the quarterfinals, we might be playing an African team. And we also took into cognizance all these teams that are higher than us in FIFA ranking, all the teams that we are playing against. So it was a very strategic vision, very strategic thinking. And what do you want to do? We also came out with a program of having a meeting with the team, making them understand that, look at what we want to do. We took the lessons of the 4 years ago where players were scrambling over funds a day to play in a very crucial game against France. At that point we said no. We met with them, Mikel was there, the coach was there, everybody would say, okay, let us interface, let us interact as father and sons, as brothers, and see what is best for this country. What do you think? FIFA is bringing XYZ. $8 million. $1.5 million for preparation, $8 million. What do you think? We said, okay, 30%, which is about $2.8 million. Now we have to look for this money and give to you guys before you go. What about your allowances, your deal allowance? Say this. Okay. There was something they didn't even talk about, the preparation, the quality of the matches, the quality of logistics, transportation, accommodation. All those are things that we put together. And at the end of the day, we've been able to fulfill, to an appreciable extent, all we have decided that we're going to do. So now, in fact, when we landed in Stansted Airport, back from Poland, Onazi walked up to me and said, President, you guys are setting a trap for us. We've not seen this kind of thing before.
The treatment.
He said, we have not seen this kind of. Say, President, I was standing with Shea Kiumi and said, you are setting a trap, you are pushing all the pressure on us. Before we want us to share the pressure, but now you are pushing everything to us. I was very excited and fulfilled about that. Because the truth is, you see, when you say evolution, we are growing every day. We must try and do something that is right. As human beings, we might stray, we might falter, but let us look at the reality of it.
So, President, the parliamentarians usually have tons of questions to ask.
I'm ready for that.
For their education. So, but you haven't answered that question.
No, what I said, clearly, my dream
is this
for Nigeria,
our time?
Yeah, we can. It is. Let me tell you something. We have a team that is very enterprising. We have a young team, and when we lost against Serbia, I was more convinced that Nigeria was going to do extremely well in the World Cup than before. Because a day before the game, I had an interaction with the coach, and we decided that we needed to try some new players. We introduced 6 new players into the team, and he was skeptical. I said, do we want to win or we want to play? Now, if you win in a very dicey friendly game like that, you learn less. If you lose, you learn more. And that is purely what we did. Okay. And at that point, Nigerians were like, oh, we needed some form of humility. We needed some form of
down to earth.
Yes, we got down to earth. Like what happened when we lost to South Africa. Then from there, it was a turning point. And this loss to Serbia, indeed, I believe, is a turning point for Nigerian football.
Okay.
Mr. President, first of all, let me just say congratulations on not just what you've been doing in the NFF, but also the way you have put Nigeria out as a political reckoning in the African continents, in CAF and in FIFA. We're very grateful to that, and recently we've been seeing a lot of Nigerians getting appointed into different posts in FIFA and in CAF, and I want to say congratulations on that. But what I want to ask is that what many Nigerians are asking, so I'll ask you two-pronged questions. The first one is, why are we running away from playing in front of the fans of Nigeria? Why are all the friendlies not within the view in which Nigerian public can easily see the match and critique the match and critique? Are you running away from the pressure or the criticism that Nigerians will normally give? And then that would just put me slightly to the second one, which you might still answer the same breath, is that is there any way we can actually have a home stadium for our Super Eagles? While sometimes we are going to Uyo, sometimes they say it's Kano, sometimes they say it's Abuja. Where would you ideally like the Super Eagles to be playing?
Well, let me take your second question. Every part of Nigeria is Nigeria, so to speak. You know, we don't have a designated stadium for the Super Eagles. If you look at the last qualifier, they were played in Calabar, you know, and the one before then, Port Harcourt. In fact, this qualifier actually started in Port Harcourt. That is our first match against Swaziland, was in Port Harcourt. Then, of course, we went to Uyo. Certain things will it motivated us going to those areas. You don't just look and say you want to play football because of, you know, there's what's called the economic interest and also the sporting interest. So what are the economic interests of playing, for example, in a place where you do not have visibility, in a place where there is no economic value? So you look at all those things because we are trying to have a semblance of autonomy, financial autonomy in terms of running our games. Now, when we play in Poland, they took care of practically everything that we, you know, apart from maybe the charter and all the allowances, they took care of everything. Serbia, coming to London, Serbia did not need to play an African team because in their group there is no African team. But we had to lure them, we had to pay them to come and play us, you know, because we needed to play them. They had loads of options, but we needed to prove a point. So what we are saying is, those are some of the reasons why we decided that, listen, you know, I think I've answered the second question because we are not running away from home. We decided, in fact, that we are definitely going to play a match at home. And Abuja Stadium, of course, there are two primary stadia in Nigeria, Abuja and Lagos. Those are the two primary stadia. You know, these are homes, technically, to the Super Eagles. Then every other one, the Kaduna Stadium, the Uyo Stadium, Port Harcourt, Kano, all these are integral parts of Nigeria. And the basic of taking football to those people, like Kano, for example, they have the best followership in Nigeria. They don't go when you're saying Arsenal is playing, they don't want to hear Arsenal. They don't want to hear Chelsea. What they want to hear is Pillars, is Ayimba, is FC Fayuba. And to us, that's where everybody should emulate. And that is the truth. You know, so if we are looking at it, we are not looking at it because we want to deny Nigeria the privileges. Now we have to go out of our way in ensuring that they watch these games. Unlike some other games, like when we played against Senegal in France, we made sure we got everything right, even at a great loss to us, in ensuring that Nigerians watch this game and also critique the game. So to us, we have a game. We have a game against DRC. It's a big game. DRC is one of the top teams in Africa, and it's going to be played here in Nigeria. We had options. Yeah. We do not, at the moment, we do not, because we're looking at Abuja Stadium, and as I speak, Abuja Stadium is not ready. So we are looking at other options. It's not just say...
And Lagos is in very good shape, but you won't come to Lagos. You just saw Lagos on TV there. Lagos 60,000 people.
Lagos is home to football. When I started watching football, here it was, of course, here in Lagos. You see, now that I'm so upset that I cannot go as NFF president, coming down that tunnel.
You will offend people, leave it. You will offend people, leave it that way. You know, because Kweku is sitting here.
I think to be fair to NFF president, he always says it, and he tells us that his wish is for the Super Eagles to be playing in Lagos. The first one is out of our own purview because the facility, the National Stadium, is not yet ours. by the grace of God, we're still.
No, but if you had your own very good one, they will use it.
No, we have one coming up very soon that they are going to be able to use. The president knows that the Unicon Stadium, when it's completed, but unfortunately it will not be completed until next year. But going forward, I would rather not focus on technical issues in terms of the preparations of the Super Eagles, because I think that's more under the purview of the coach and the technical team. But my question or contribution would go more in terms of the logistics preparations of the team, and in that regard, honestly, I cannot fault what the NFF has done so far. So I would just want to say that in terms of the last lap, that's the Russian leg itself, I hope all those issues of the base camp, logistics and all that have been done, because what they've done so far shows us that I mean, they have actually prepared the ground in terms of to remove every logistic disturbance or distraction that may occur. So I'm sure Mr. President will just let us know, because I know that they have gone that far as well. Not just the games, but to ensure that even while in Russia, the Eagles have the best of time.
And other Nigerians too.
Yeah, I can.
You know, like us, how do we enjoy come and, you know?
Yours is automatic.
Mr. President, you are saying it on national television.
I'm saying it. I'm the president of Nigeria. By the power bestowed on me as the president.
Exactly.
Sheikh Odigba MON will be on our entourage to Russia.
Wow, that's a motion that will be moved. Thank you, President.
No, beyond that, he's a legend. And he has contributed immensely to the development of this game.
Thank you.
You know, you don't just ignore people like him. You don't just ignore people like Okala. You don't just. These are people that these are trailblazers. These are people that we must always celebrate. Listen, it's not easy. Look at those goals that he scored. Look at those goals. Those goals, people can still learn from them today. You know, it's not all about skill. It's about discipline on and off the field of play. So there are a lot that they can give. There are a lot that they can contribute. If you look at these young players, they look up to them. We didn't play football. My life, I struggled. But I said one way, I said, worry boy, I must be part of it.
Somehow.
I must be part of it.
Worry, no, they carry last.
That is it. So the truth is, they must, if I'm not saying it, Adokie, you say, you know, look at Chonogaon, look at the Beyond the Diary. In fact, when we did our awards, I almost shed tears when I saw Okala walking up with his walking stick. You know, that alone, that walking stick to me is a trophy. Because these are guys that pay their dues. We must respect them. We must give them that dues. In fact, I'm saying it today now. I'm proposing to the NFF. We are coming out with a program, what's called the NFF Foundation. We are creating a foundation whereby if we have sponsorship, certain amount of the sponsorship will be dedicated to that amount. So we don't want to hear that somebody like Owolo is sick, somebody like Patrick Sagener is sick, with Roma. From there, we can take care of these people. These guys, listen, they did everything humanly, psychologically, and generally possible.
And we saw the crowd
in ensuring happiness for Nigerians.
Oh, yes.
When Nigerians are sad, listen, you cannot, if you are
Mr. President.
Listen, if you are president of Nigerian Football Federation, you will know the intensity in which people love or hate football.
Yeah.
I have been to a filling station. Some guy came to me and said, listen, you are doing very well. You don't need to pay for this fare. I'll pay for you. I've also been in traffic. Somebody said, if you don't qualify for this World Cup, just pack your load, oh. Pack your load. I've seen
the two ends.
So you should understand. And listen, that's why I don't begrudge anybody. Because the intensity is a reflection of the love, the immense love we have for football. And when the person is talking, you're not going to ask where he's from.
Yes.
He might even be an Ishakiri person like me. He doesn't care. At that point, it's Nigeria. And that's why we are taking football very seriously, because we know it's a major unifying factor. If you look at Kano Pillars, their captain is where? If you look at El Kanemi, their captain is a Christian. MFM, their captain is a Muslim. That is how salient football can be.
Mr. President, I want to ask a quick question.
No, don't ask yet until we come back from our break. We still have a whole half time, to go. So we go on this short break. When we come back, Lukman will be set to take us through his 5 minutes.
Bros, I define correct words. Huh? See the shop for that side.
Auntie, I will call that. Where be correct words?
Now the shop be down, now the next one.
Peter, see as people they pack, they go to the shop, go buy clothes. It don't reach like 5 days now. I just suspect this Tunde way this is where in Waka Kurukere Waka. See, I go blow whistle. I go blow whistle to Kuku spoil.
Your whistle. Come on, go investigate the matter before you blow whistle. Whistle blow. Come on, come.
Thank you for coming.
Show first.
Come. Not only you the circular for this market. Why be saying only your shop everybody they come? I just want blow whistle. I go blow something.
This will not be whistle blowing matter. Now MTN goodie bag.
What be MTN goodie bag?
With MTN goodie bag, if you carry your market enter another level, whether na for Facebook or for WhatsApp or for Twitter, for as low as 25 naira.
25 naira.
Yes.
Or buy 5 what you like for 50 naira. Dial *131# to start.
So with MTN goodie bag, your business go pure.
Good morning, sir. You are here already?
No. Now my spirit there, my body there for us. What kind of question is that? Were you not the one that fixed this meeting for 8 a.m.? You are now coming by 10 a.m. and start asking me job questions.
But Chief, now, I'm sorry. Don't you also go late for meetings sometimes? You know now, African time.
No more African time. And no more pancaking of face during office hours. At the end of the day, we will lose valuable time. We will not make progress. If we want to move this nation forward, we must treat business as business and respect time. Change begins with me.
Thank you, sir. I am sorry. Can we go for the meeting now, Chief?
Better.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
If you are just joining us, this is the Sports Parliament, and we have our guest today, the President of the Nigeria Football Federation. But before we come back to him, Lukman is sitting and waiting. We couldn't watch him last week. So what is it going to be? Are we winning or losing this week?
Mr. Speaker.
Your 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. This weekend, we can tag this weekend the Derby weekend, because across 2 countries and 3 cities in Europe, we have 3 derbies. In the Premier League, at long-time kickoff, we have the Merseyside Derby, while later in the day, Manchester Derby could see Man City claim the Premier League title. Also in Europe, Bayern Munich can win their 6th consecutive league title too. And we have the little matter of the Madrid Derby, where Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid will be fighting for 2nd place behind Barcelona. Welcome to European football in 300 seconds. My name is Lukman Ogunwolu. Our focus matches are Saint Etienne PSG, Marseille Montpellier, Wolfsburg Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund Stuttgart, Roma Fiorentina, Benevento Juventus, Real Madrid Atletico Madrid, Real Betis Eibar, Everton Liverpool, and Manchester City Manchester United. We begin in France. Saint Etienne PSG. With the League Cup wrapped up for PSG, their focus has switched to the Ligue 1 title. They are within touching distance of winning the league title now, but they come against an informed Saint Etienne side who are unbeaten in their last 6 games. Saint Etienne are a very strong side at home and will definitely push PSG all the way. I'm going for a draw in this game, so I predict the scores to be 1-1. Marseille Montpellier. Marseille returned back to winning ways in Dijon last week. They need to keep their position on the log as they hold on to the final Champions League spot in France. Montpellier, on the other hand, have drawn 5 of their last 6 games, which shows that they are quite difficult to beat. However, when you compare the head-to-head between these 2 sides in their last 6 games, it has been 2 wins each, 2 draws and 2 losses for either side. This shows that there is very little to separate between these sides, but at the Orange Velodrome, Marseille are very strong, so I'm backing them to nick this at home, 2-1. Moving over to Germany, Wolfsburg Bayern Munich. A win at Wolfsburg will see Bayern Munich win their 6th consecutive league title. Wolfsburg have won just 1 in their last 6 games, and I don't see them stopping the Bayern party or stopping them from winning the league title. 3-1 Bayern Munich. Borussia Dortmund, Stuttgart. Dortmund need to react after their annihilation at Bayern last weekend. Stuttgart have all but secured their Bundesliga status for next season, and on the road they have been very poor this year. So I think that Dortmund should be comfortable at home and win 3-0. Moving over to Italy, Roma Fiorentina. Fiorentina have won 5 straight games on the bounce. I'm sure this is part of what they are using to honor their late captain, David Pastore. However, they are coming up against the Roma side who have been quite decent in the league at the moment. Though Roma lost in the Champions League midweek to Barcelona, and that means their campaign there is almost over, they certainly will have to focus back on qualifying for next season's Champions League. I think that they will be able to edge this at home 2-1. Benevento Juventus. Juventus were outclassed by a superior Real Madrid side midweek, but in the Serie A, it is bread and butter for them. Basement club Benevento might suffer the wrath from Juventus this weekend, as they will need to bounce back to cover the embarrassment they suffered during the week. 2-0 Juventus away from home. Real Madrid hosts Atletico Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. 4 points separates these two Madrid giants. Atletico Madrid sits second place while Real Madrid are in third place. Definitely, Cristiano Ronaldo is the man of the moment with his majestic performance in Turin midweek. Can he perform the same against Atletico Madrid, who we know barely give away a lot when they play? This looks like a game that is quite difficult to call, but I'm backing Real Madrid to sneak this at home, 2-1. Real Betis Eibar. A battle for European places is up for grabs at Benito Villamarín. Real Betis have won 4 straight league games at home, while Eibar are winless in their last 4 league games. Eibar are one of the unpredictable sides in the league because you don't know which side is coming up to play. But I think at home, Kiki Setien's side will be very strong and they will destroy Eibar to make it 5 straight losses for Eibar on the row. 3-1 Real Betis. To the Premier League, Everton welcome Liverpool to Goodison Park. Everton are probably one of the most inconsistent sides in the Premier League too. But definitely, Liverpool will be buoyed by their victory over Man City in the Champions League. And I think that the extra quality they have will probably see them cross the line here and take a victory home from Goodison Park. Finally, to the biggest game of the weekend, which is the Manchester Derby at the Etihad Stadium. I wonder what will be going through Jose Mourinho's mind when he was watching Liverpool take apart Man City. I'm sure he must have learnt 1 or 2 things in that game to see how he can stop the victory party for Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. All the same, Manchester City have been the best team in the Premier League this season, and I'm backing them to find that quality in them to be able to get the desired win and claim the Premier League title by the end of the weekend. This wraps up my focus for the week. I hand you back over to Mr. Speaker.
Well, and this wraps up my own too, in terms of where I'm going to put my money this weekend. I tell you, I'm going to put my money behind all those games the way you have just mentioned them.
You are sure you'll be going to the bank with big money on Monday?
Yes, I'm ready for the big money this week. And anyway, my president is ready for the big money too. I have a book to present to my president. It is titled From UK Tourists to Super Eagles. It's a history book. I don't know if you have a copy of it, but if you don't have a copy, I'm going to give you this book if you will help us participate in the first competition we are going to have. This is just a sample of the competition we are going to have from next week. Now they will show you 2 pictures. You just tell us who the 2 people are. One is a face, somebody talking, and the other one is an action, an action on the field of play. If you get both questions, this book is for you. If you don't get both questions, I will have to pass it on to parliamentarians. Okay, let's see our guess who it is this week. It's just a sample. Volume.
Turkish league is big. The Swedish league.
That's very unfair. He didn't hear the voice. He did not hear the voice. So that's a very unfair one. So I would give him the book nevertheless.
Thank God.
I will give him the book nevertheless.
Thank you very much.
It's a historic book. It's done by a friend of mine, Dayo. Okay, as I was coming out this evening, I saw it and I said, this is for my president. Okay, so parliamentarians, over to you again.
Yes, I'm going to ask a question, and I think it's in line with what the president mentioned. He mentioned something that they're thinking of starting a foundation with some of the proceeds of the sponsorship funds that have been coming in torrents. Let me see. For a very long time in Nigerian football, we have not had the kind of sponsorships that have come into football in the last 6 months or thereabout. So I want to ask or suggest, apart from the foundation for the ex-players that you spoke about, is there any plan in using some of this funding for youth development and also for capacity building, especially with regards to our local coaches?
Yeah, you have to answer that very quickly.
Yeah,
we are focusing on the World Cup.
You see, we have a very good, a very comprehensive youth program, you know, and he's one of our sponsors, Zenith Bank, that is actually anchoring that, you know. And if you look at our team, the last 2 years, we've had what's called the Next Eagles Challenge under 13 and under 15. So if he's having a comprehensive, and of course, no less a president than my first vice president is the chairman of that committee, and that committee has done very, very well. Only today I received a memo for the board to go to camp. We keep them in camp since they are off school to look at what they are doing, to look at their skills, introduce some new players, and there they grow. So there's a seamless transition to under 17, under 20, and that's it. So then beyond that, we also what we are trying to do, this is a World Cup year, like you said. The funds that we have received so far, not a dime has been taken into use. We are warehousing. Then of course we have the Strategic Studies Committee, the Organizing and the Finance Committee. They'll come together and look at the priorities. Now part of it, we are looking at paying our players $2.8 million. Part of it will be taken to service that. We'll look at the
to get to where? $2.8 million to get to where?
We are looking at it because $2.8 million is our mandatory participation because FIFA money comes after the World Cup. Even though we are making representation of FIFA to see if we can get part of us, even if it's 10%, that is in the pipeline. But what we are doing realistically is trying to warehouse all these funds that we have. And at the end of the day, we'll look at what we want to do. As I speak, Super Falcons, they're in France, they're playing a game tomorrow. They serviced. We have the under 20 that just went to Egypt for a friendly game. So there are a lot of football activities going on. And you should know, even in your time, funding has been a major issue.
Yeah.
Funding is a key issue. If you want to develop football, you look at the kind of money players are earning today, you should understand that the people actually developing them spend a lot of money in bringing them to that standard. And that is the truth. So I want to tell you clearly that we do not. The money is being warehoused. We have a fund manager, financial derivatives, we have our auditors, PwC. So they look at all these things. We brainstorm in trying to get all these things together. So it's not just the Strategic Studies Committee, it's not just the organizers, it's not just the Finance Committee. We have our auditors, we have our fund managers. They look at all these things, this goes here, and we do it very transparently. Like I said, without anything to hide. And that is what has kept us on.
Mr. President, very quickly, I just want to know, Nigerians around the country and probably around the world that want to travel to Russia to watch the World Cup, do they have to make their own, is there any agent, especially for ticketing, through the NFF has, or they have to make their own kind of arrangements?
Now, what we try to do again from the Strategic Studies Committee, what we try to do, they propose, we have our traveling agent, the official traveling agent that we have in the Nigerian population. And we decided to shortlist 3 companies. We also have what's called a Fly for Value, company. Those ones, they have the hospitality from FIFA directly. Okay. They have their clearance from FIFA, their authority from FIFA. Then we shortlisted 2 other companies. Those companies will give you all the total package, and they are there in the NFF. If you go to the website, you see them. But what we're trying to do, because we met the Russian embassy and we had a relationship, we told them that clearly we should be expecting a minimum of 100,000 Nigerians in Russia. And, on the part of the Super Eagles and those of us, part of our delegation, by the end of May, everything that's to do with visa or consular would have ended. We don't want any distraction going close to the World Cup. We don't want to hear visa, we don't want to hear this, we don't want to hear that. I don't want to be calling embassies, calling ambassadors or going, no. We want everything to be seamless. And you see these embassies, once you are very organized, you can walk in line with their direction. And that's what we're trying to do. So we shortlisted, the only reason why we did that, so that we can monitor. We don't want to hear that Nigerian is running away. You can't run from Nigeria and go to Russia. To me, it's
they are running to Benin Republic.
So to me, let me add to that. We really want to monitor all those people going, because we want, it's not just going to the World Cup. The World Cup is where you showcase Nigerians. We want Nigerians to go there and showcase. Like I keep saying, I don't have any regret saying that Nigeria is the best country in the world. I don't have any regret. I love this country to my marrow. To me, it's the best country. No matter how you see it. Forget what you are saying today.
How are you resolving? Wait, there's a critical group in Nigerian football, the Supporters Club. They are our biggest ambassadors. They've been to every World Cup and all of that. But from what we are hearing now, there's crisis within the Nigerian Supporters Group, and they're a critical group going to any World Cup. What are you doing about that?
You see, when I got elected, to be fair to Dr. Ladipo, he invited me. I went to the football house and they told me about some of the happenings, you know, that existed far before I came in, you know. And I did my human extreme in trying to resolve issues. And to me, there are some issues you just say they are irreconcilable. To me, that's just the truth, because they are not first affiliated to the Nigerian Football Federation. There's nowhere in the statute that recognizes Nigerian Football Supporters Club. Trust me, they are an integral part, they are an independent body. Yeah. They are a registered body. Yeah. And they must be given their own respect. Because it's not just supporting, they support Nigerian football under the rain, under the sun, and they are globally recognized. So, but to me now, instead of, they have a splinter group, they have two groups. So, what is important to us, if everybody is blowing whistle and supporting the group, to me that's what's important at this point. Because when we were going to our first World Cup qualifying game, we were going to Zambia. And the two groups came and said, we should take 10 from this group, take 10 from this group to get into the plane. And the minister called me. I said, Honorable Minister, I know you are a listening minister. Please, with all due respect, I don't want to take any member of this group. This is a very critical game. This is a very important game. This is a very, very important game. What about if you get into the plane and the disturb or the fight or the landing, you've distracted the Super Eagles. And I told the minister, I said, President, is your call. And I explained to them that we cannot. Dr. Ladipo, if you want to go, I respect you. I can put you on the plane to go. Of course, Ladipo is somebody that holds his people in a very high esteem. He said, no, you cannot take me without not taking my people. Vincent, the same thing, you know. Vincent is my brother from Delta. There's no doubt about that. I don't have any regret about that. But I do not take side with anybody. I'm the head of Nigerian football. Everybody is my constituency. And that is the truth.
Okay. So until they reconcile?
Until they reconcile, we can move independently. We'll give them that independent support. Yeah. But to me, everybody is a supporter of Nigerian football.
No, but the official supporters, I propose that you set up a team of 1 or 2 persons to try respectable people in society. Make me one of them to go and reconcile them.
I can tell you that. I can tell you today, if you want, listen, nobody thrives in anarchy or animosity. Everybody wants everything. Listen, we want peace. Yeah. I look at Dr. Ladipo, I have huge regard for him. You know, you should understand the person that brought me to football is Patrick Okpomo, of blessed memory. Of course, you should understand the relationship between them. So me, I won't do anything to undermine him or undermine this and to anybody. They've all contributed. But the truth is, I can tell you clearly that there are differences. They've gone beyond that. These guys have gone to register another supporters club. It's like the boxing association. You have WBO, IBF. It's only FIFA that is not one. Otherwise, you know, or CAF that is one. So the truth is,
we the players.
But if you feel
we the players
too,
we want them. We want
the players have your own union problem.
That one you cannot solve it. Nobody can solve that
one. Now you are doing
no, you can do. Well, the important thing is that everybody is supporting Nigerian football. That's what. Please, nobody should take it attack. I don't have any grudge against anybody. We love, we respect you, and we must always respect the fact that you have always been there even before we came on, before we were even born. You guys have always been there, so that respect we must give to you. But one thing is important, one thing that is quite elemental is that we should all bury our differences and support Nigerian football. Togetherness, we can make this difference.
Fantastic. Last words.
Last question.
No question. Last words.
Last word.
So just like that, we are almost ending.
1 hour. Because you gave us so much information to chew and all of that. But you still have opportunity to say your last
No,
words.
what I want to say first, let me say, is to thank the federal government.
Very good.
I want to thank the president of this country for creating that enabling environment for football prosperity. The kind of support they've given us has been unprecedented. So I've been living this for this period, the last and the best, to say, Mr. President, we thank you. Honorable Minister, we thank you. Without their support, we don't think we would have gotten to where we are today, and that is the truth. We've had governments in the past where they get into football and you can hear stories start coming out. In this government, you don't hear any story. They allow football to run football, and that is the truth. And that's where we are today.
Fantastic. Well, we thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, and maybe with that, I should also add a thank you to my Governor Udom Emmanuel, for supporting the Super Eagles, making us go to the World Cup.
You did hear this man. Of course. Yes, that's true. That's true.
But I want to thank the President for coming over and clarifying some things. And really, like what I said in my first word, I will really emphasize again in my last word, is that you have actually made Nigerians feel proud again to be in the politics of within CAF and FIFA. We had a young man just appointed Director of Competitions, and we have the other one, my younger brother Adamu, something Adamu. Yeah. So things have been coming. The ethics lady. So I want to say thank you, and you have brought a little bit of pride back to us, and thank you very much for that.
Well, and last word on the World Cup.
Last word on the World Cup.
Yes.
Mr. President, I want to just say that we will just pray, and I'm just praying, despite what parliamentarians or what even you might think, if you get our Super Eagles to the quarterfinals, is enough for us. We are happy about it.
No. And as you round up, you must move a motion. Remember that motion?
I remember. Since we are thanking all those involved, I would also like to thank Governor Akinwumi Ambode.
Politics is politics.
For the support he has given.
He has been amazing as well.
Honestly, President Amaju Pinnick has always mentioned the support that His Excellency Governor Ambode has continued to give to the NFF. And even the FIFA president recognized this when he came to Nigeria. And then on the last word, or the last note, I want to wish the Super Eagles an excellent outing. I want them to go there and just have fun. Honestly, the football arrangements and everything are top class. So let them go there and have fun. And when you are having fun, playing with passion, anything can happen. And I believe strongly that something is going to happen.
Well, since there's no motion.
There is a motion.
Okay, where's the motion?
And I want at this point to raise a motion that the invitation that has been extended to Mr. Speaker to go to Russia on the delegation of the NFF is also extended to myself and NN, who are those that have witnessed this. And I'm sure we have more eyes than Mr. Speaker. That is my motion for today.
Well, all Nigerians is finished. I'm thanking all Nigerians on behalf of the President of the Nigeria Football Federation for a great show today and for everything that you've done for Nigerian football. We wish you the very best of luck. Well, that motion has been moved, the one raised by the President himself, and all those in favor say aye. Aye. Resounding aye. There's no need to have it. The ayes have it. Good night.
I normally watch Morning Ride every Saturday morning. It's educative.
Morning Ride is a wonderful breakfast show.
I like right to write song, that's captivate people. Somebody say market. Very good.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
This is the network service of the NTA.
The challenges of nationhood, especially those that concern the issues of security, have always been with Nigeria as a nation. Although their magnitude and complexities are more than what obtained in the past, observers believe that the strategy for containing them was more diverse and people-oriented in the olden days, as communities, then spearheaded by traditional authorities, virtually nipped those challenges in the bud, as it were. Moment for Thought takes a look at the role of traditional institution in Nigeria's national life against the backdrop of the current challenges of nationhood before the country. I have with me in the studio Senator Abdullahi Adamu, Chairman Senate Committee on Agriculture. Senator Abdullahi Adamu was the first executive governor of Nasarawa State. An astute politician, Senator Abdullahi Adamu is a lawyer by profession and a successful farmer and businessman. The distinguished senator is also a grassroots man who belongs to the traditional authority. He is the Sarkinyak in Kefi, a strong traditional title for that matter, making him as the shield for his people. Another grassroots man is also with us in the studio, Dr. Padi Njoku, who has the traditional title of a Menu Code 1, which literally means a man beckoned by his people at times of need. In other words, a harbinger of glad tidings. Dr. Padi Njoku was a university don and a successful businessman, a chartered mediator and conciliator. Dr. Padi Njoku is the Director General of the International Institute of Leadership and Governance. And I am Aliyu Baba Barrow of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Baba One.
Baba One. As a man of the people, as Chira Chebe used to say. Well, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Being with you. Yes.
Thank you so much.
This is the network service of the NTA.
impact the fashion industry is having in Nigeria is setting remarkable strides for businesses to thrive, thereby leading to the creation of new fashion stores in almost every nook and cranny around the country. Now, a gold mine, if you ask me, for those who understand its roots. This is the place where we showcase everything fashionable, proudly made here in Nigeria. Today's STEM, and I welcome you on board. My name is Ruth Aguele. You know, fashion is like eating. You shouldn't stick to the same menu, Kenzo Takada. And you know what they say, variety is the spice of life. You are about to meet our personality for today.
Yeah, it's not the usual blue, black, brown, grey suits you find. We've got suits with sequins, with tuxedos with suede. It's just trying to tell you that, look, let's not put ourselves in a box. We are Africans. One major thing about Africans, we love colors. We're not from the Europe. We're not Europeans. We're not Americans. They really don't play with colors. We love colors. We are colorful, and we should be able to interpret that in our fashion and our outfits. So we've done a lot of that with male outfits. So you've seen guys do tuxedos, purple tuxedos, burgundy tuxedos, green tuxedos, different colors right now. So we're not as rigid anymore.
Now, when we're talking fashion designing anywhere in the world, now not just in Nigeria, it's highly competitive.
Yeah.
But you get to see a lot of people delve into this business venture, talking about fashion, without understanding the nitty-gritty involved.
Yeah.
Now, for you, when you were going into this business, what did you put at the back of your mind?
I'm going to say this first. Like I said, I picked it up from my mom. My mom was and is still into a bit of tailoring, and she used to tell me this when I was very young. She said, every good tailor always disappoints. Now that has been her slogan, because I've had a couple of times people call out and like, oh, you've not made up my clothes, you've not done this, you've not done that.
But wait, why do you always disappoint?
No, so that's what I'm going to, and so that was our slogan. So one of the things we picked was, I said, I'm going to change that. We are going to be very good, but we'll never disappoint. And God being so good, we've not disappointed one person. We've fixed our dates and we picked those dates. Come 12th of December 2018, you pick your suit, and that date you pick your suit. It's been a key thing we've used to break into the market. Now, like you said, the market has been very challenging, but I also say the market is still wide open. It's so much. It's so much. Most of those that would wear what we do have actually worn more of imported outfits, clothing. So the market, I say, is really not within ourselves, retailers or we fashion designers here in the country. No, that's not the challenge, that's not the competition. The competition is actually taking it away from those that have taken it for years, the Europeans, the Americans that have been in the industry for years, and bringing it back home,
Now, is there anything you want to share with us in terms of quality, durability, and detailing? What do you look out for?
I'll say this. Let me just quickly run through and say something first. When I was going to make my first suit for my first client, and my first client being my wife, I went out and I bought a TM Louis suit. It cost me so much. It was about 80,000 naira then. And I purchased the suit. And I said, what do they have in this suit? I need to know what's in there. And I copied everything, thread for thread, fabric for fabric. I copied everything just to try to get the detailing they have. And when I did that, I impressed her a bit. Not so much. She still has so much of errors and picked up a whole lot of stuff. But after that particular first incident, I told myself, the standard of our suit is going to meet up anywhere international wide, no matter what, from the fabrics to the threadings, no matter what. We make mistakes sometimes, and one of the things we've done is when we make mistakes and we have a client complain, we don't say, oh, just manage it. No, we trash it and we go back. So the profit has not been exciting, but the experience has been awesome. Because of what we're trying to do and who we're trying to take the market from, one of the things that we've done that you not find from any designer here in Nigeria is to give guarantees on clothing. And what we do is we give every of our clients a 1-year guarantee on our clothing.
You know, that's the first time I'm actually hearing that for clothing.
That's the first time. Yeah, we do that because we are sure of what we produce and what we provide. And if you have any issue with it, bring it back within a year.
Now, if you look at this sector, talking about the fashion industry, it's highly profitable.
Yeah.
It's a profitable venture. And for us in Nigeria, if we begin to consume what we produce, we'll look at the growth that we can record. Now, what do we need to do differently if the fashion industry must contribute to the GDP for growth?
I like talking the figures, so I'm going to say this quickly. The presumed richest fashion owner or designer, Ortega, is worth about $8-something billion. That's $80-something billion. That's not some small funds. And I'll tell you this, that I know based on research. 35% of Nigerians buy Zara. If you calculate the figures that we contribute to that $8-something billion, it could be back in this economy, it could be back in this country. And our challenges, basically from designers' point, has been electricity. It's key because you cannot make
one challenge for a long time.
You cannot make any outfit without electricity. Also, letting the youths understand that aside from every education you have,
you need skills.
You need skills. You need skills. You don't have to go back and sit at the back of a computer. The education is awesome. I have an education, I have a degree. I finished from King's College. You need to go back and work with your hands. So, and fashion is not just the clothing, it's in the makeup, it's in the accessories.
It's photography, runway, the models, the
runway, there's so much. And the industry is wide. Clothing is going to be forever. Everyone is going to wear clothes. These are basic amenities. Basic necessities of life. Food, shelter, clothing. So clothing is going to be there forever.
Now, if you have the power to change something about your world, what would it be?
That's
difficult, right?
Very difficult. And I think if I have anything to change about my world, and when I use the word, when I'm going to say my world, I'm not going to restrict it to myself. I'm going to say the fashion industry. I think one thing I'm going to change is trust. Every customer should be able to trust a designer. That has taken so much of our customers away. The honest truth is, top of the head, people trust every product that comes out of the country. We need to be able to change that part. If we designers can get every of our clients to trust us, when we tell them this fabric is high quality, it should be high quality.
Now, you talked about fabrics earlier on. Where do you source your fabrics from?
We source our fabrics from Europe. For now, it's sad we do that from Europe. I'm not going to try and talk down Nigeria, but we try to do a bit of our products, which we have awesome product also, but just the same thing, trust. We dealt with 2 or 3 of suppliers, and at the first instant they provided something good, but after that the quality started dropping. Obviously, probably because they're trying to maximize profit, but it started dropping, and that really pushed me away based on what I'm trying to achieve.
Now, are we going to get to a point in Nigeria whereby we no longer import fabrics from outside the shores?
The fashion industry is growing over time. Now, everything has supported that. Social media has supported it. Instagram, all the social media platforms have supported it. There are apps coming out now that is supporting fashion and designing. So bloggers, they're all supporting the industry, and over time the industry is going to get so big that attention is going to get to it, and investors are going to come into it. I'll support the industry. People are going to start looking inwards, and we're going to start thinking of getting our own fabrics. Our fabrics are awesome. That's the truth.
So, Mr. Sheyi, what's the future for you? What are you going to be tracking?
Now we're trying to get to where we have the 1 million clients. That's ready to wear. We're going to have our outfits, our products at boutiques. You don't have to meet us one-on-one anymore to get our products, and that's the future now for us. It's a big one. It's been exhausting, but it's needed. It's necessary. Most of these brands, you don't see Zara, you don't even know who Ortega is, and that's where track is going to.
And Mr. Sheyi, that's the dream I picture for a lot of fashion designers, to have their designs not just in Nigeria, when we're talking ready to wear, but anywhere in the world. And I know with the likes of Sheyi, Adeyemi, we're going to get there. We're going to track track that.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's been nice exploring your world. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sheyi Adeyemi, CEO, Track Designs. So we'll continue to keep a track on him, and you do the same. But right now, we'll go on this break, and today's time will be back. So stay with us. Oh well, with increasing demand comes the never-ending production. But you, my friend, has a stake in this industry if we must make it grow. Remember, #MadeInNigeria. Let's explore more from this next feature.
Fashion is a distinct form of art, and for most fashionistas, anything fashionable that depicts style and class is one-stop shop for them. And indeed, women of high caliber gracefully honored the invitation to attend the Private Moments evening store opening that took place recently in Abuja. Strictly evening wears for ladies who have a high taste in fashion and luxury. Now you cannot help but get blown away by the captivating designs on display, a combination of elegance, glamour, and creativity at its peak.
Evening wear could be abaya, could be anything, but when you want that showstopper for your birthday, for your event, for that your second wedding dress, the creativity of these designers are out of this world. But you need to know they're not Nigerian designers. These are top of the line designers from Paris, from Italy, brands that are top of the line.
These are just breathtaking. My first time in the store, I could not believe what I was seeing. There's so much attention to detail. There's a finesse that is just so beautiful in the collection. The designing, the styling, the emphasis on beauty for beautiful women is just apparent in everything here.
I think they're very classy. Nice designs, shiny. I think it's what women would like, right?
I thank God that He has brought me this far. It's been my dream to have something like this to cater for the rich and famous and for people who desire to look marvelous. I believe ladies should look gorgeous at all times. So here we are today. We also have a bias that women of class, women, mothers, ladies could wear and look elegant for their husbands, for their spouses. Nice like what I'm wearing, flowing and beautiful. Fortunately and unfortunately, they're being designed by foreigners.
They may not be from Nigeria or by Nigerian designers, but the question is, are our Nigerian designs at par with such creativity in fashion?
Aside from the color, I think our designs are very similar. Just maybe this is a bit more Western. But I think Nigerian designers are up to par. Every other month there are new designs, there are new designers, younger designers. So I think the course is taking itself.
We don't even need to promote the Nigerian fashion. It's out there. If you notice, Stella McCartney put Ankara on the runway and she's selling it £2,000. What kind of promotion do you need after that? She's done all the work for us. It's just for us to take our Ankaras now, go abroad and start selling. This is an eye-opener for the fashion designers in Nigeria, in Africa. I believe with our fabrics, with our Ankara fabrics, we can make nice evening pieces that would come out and it would be a wow. I'm not a designer, I'm not a tailor. I just collect pieces. I'm a collector of pieces. But if I see a designer, and I'm glad to say Diola Sego is doing so, she's doing us so proud. If likes of Diola Sego can come out and use our African fabrics, I know what she's doing with Ashoke, and she uses our African fabrics to make nice things. I would store her fabrics, her pieces. I'm a collector. I collect pieces all over the world, from Paris, from Dubai, from Turkey. But I will stop. I would look inwards. I'll collect pieces from Lagos. I'll collect pieces from Ibadan. So designers, wake up, please.
To be quite honest, the Nigerians fashion houses, they are trying. In fact, they have taken it to another level. I watched the CNN a couple of days ago. I saw our Ankara, modeling our Ankara, and I saw it in a couple of shops with very expensive prices. We can take our fashion to that height.
No doubt, fashion is inexhaustible, and we will continue to explore and build bridges to bridge the gap. But if you're thinking of making the right fashion statement, then think style.
Oh well, style is something each and every one of us already has. All you need to do is find it. Diana von Furstenberg. And ladies, go out there, explore and find what works best for you. Now, moving on, let's look at blogging in Nigeria. Blogging, we know, is a serious business anywhere in the world, and bloggers are taking full advantage, making use of the vast opportunities. And our fashion bloggers are not left out, as they help people keep up with the latest trends. Well, right now, we'll put on the spotlight a fashion blogger. She tells us what it takes to keep up with the game.
Hello, I'm Alima Mustafa. I'm a fashion blogger. Yes, fashion blogger in the house. I love fashion. I love to look good. I love to dress well. I love to look presentable. I love to walk into a place and everybody turn around to look like, oh, she's so fine. She looks good. That is what fashion is all about to me. Try to start blogging, modest blogging, modest fashion. I don't think we are there yet. Even myself, I don't think I'm there yet, because there are some things you want to wear and then it's not right, but you like it, you just want to wear it like that. Modesty have to be well covered, no shape revealing, but then you still see that fine gown, like, I like it, I want to wear it. The women have this orientation that if you have to be fashionable, you have to be sexy, you have to be presentable. No, I don't have to be sexy. I don't have to have everything revealing to you before you know I'm sexy or I'm fashionable. I can be well dressed and you still look at me and like, this is classic. Being a fashion blogger requires a lot of work, a lot of dedication and consistency. You need to love what you are doing, because sometimes you come when you're not really feeling what you're doing, or you're not getting the right audience, or people are not really giving you feedback you want to like just quit, like, what am I even doing this for? But if you love what you're doing, if you love to look good, it's not easy. Even if people don't comment, even if you don't compliment you, you are fine, because you love what you're doing. So, and you need to have the sense as well. You can't just wake up in the morning because you have a nice dress and feel, oh, I'm a fashion blogger. If I wear this, everybody compliments me, then that's fine. I have one dress, then let's start blogging. You have to keep giving content every week. If you can't make it weekly, at least once in a while, give style and inspiration. You can do this, like, think outside the box. Like a normal person will just wear a shirt and just go, but as a fashion blogger, I need to think, okay, what can I do to this shirt to make it look different? How can I present this shirt in 3 or 4 different ways? How can I inspire people to like style the same thing in 5 different ways? So that's what fashion blogging is all about. Like, they don't give the respect they're supposed to give fashion blogging. As a blogger, you influence people. We're not jobless. Taking pictures or just dressing up for pictures is not like we're jobless or we don't have what to do. If you put this thing outside, I don't know, like, you have this community, like, people will look up to you and like, I love what she's doing, I want to get it. You'll see what you like. If you can't afford it, there are thrift stores. Let me use our Nigerian word, Okrika. You get unique things at Okrika market. So people say that's trash or it's not nice. You actually get something nice, something unique at Okrika market. So you don't have to die because you can't get it from a specific store on Instagram. You can actually get it in your market and something better, and everybody will be like, oh, where did you get that? That's what most fashion bloggers do. That's the secret. We go thrift shopping, okay, market, because you get something unique that people want to know where you get it from, and they can't get it in every random store. As in years before, Ankara was like, oh, local people are wearing Ankara, but now I think Nigerian fashion designers are trying to incorporate Ankara into everything, but then we still need to do more. Some brands are actually trying, there's some designers are actually topping it up, but they're way too expensive, and